Okay. And, tab 28. We're ready to go there. I just want to see if we get our bug up. Pardon the expression. Okay. Yeah, we are. We have that. We have that. 10, 6. Are you ready to rock and roll? In hopefully in 3, 2. All right, come on, start, you son of a bitch. Yeah. Okay, we're good. We're live. Wait one, and give me 2 seconds after I do this because I have 2 things to do.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everybody. Fred Lime here, and welcome to our Ask Fred Lime Show episode 027. Now, listen, all right, you can hear that my voice is actually pretty quiet right now. It's because I'm actually in the middle of a hallway out in Paris from the freaking nice, fancy hotel. So I can't be loud. If I be loud, I'm going to get kicked out and I have to stop this webinar. And I don't think that's what you guys want. So with that being said, everyone's like awesome right now. Put a 1 in the question box if you guys are excited about today's section, because I actually did a Facebook Live about this topic and everyone went absolutely bananas and wanted to know exactly how to really master the art of the written words and to really sell anything that you have. Now, glad you're not sick. I am actually a little bit sick at the same time, so that makes matters even worse. So with that, it's actually 2 a.m. over here. Now, before I go into telling you guys specifically on what you're about to learn, here's one thing. Here's the background story. Last week, I actually had a complete training called the Zero Up Elite Workshop. We had 24 people in. And out of the 24 people, we actually got 22 people making their first sale in just 4 days. They had nothing when they came in, and by the time that we're done, they have every single one of them, except for 2, obviously with some stick point, they all generated a sale online. One of the guys actually did over $500 in sales in a day. Mingad said he actually was here. He said, I am over $500 right now. So with that being said, we have actually an amazing workshop. And one of the section that a lot of these elite members absolutely love, okay, they absolutely love, is basically copy. And I actually got one of my best friend, mentor, and also one of the best marketer online to actually come on during my Zero Up Elite workshop to actually have a full section about copywriting, specifically for e-commerce. And everyone was like going bananas right after when he finished the entire presentation. Everyone went like, wow, that is one of the most important sessions that we ever had. And the best part is, after these people got basically the same training that you're about to learn today, and there's nothing to buy, okay, Scott? There's absolutely nothing for you to buy today. It's just all pure content, and that's what we are going to be offering you. Now, with that, what happened is that these guys were actually making like 1 to 2% click-through rate on Facebook ads. But right after the exact session that you're about to learn today, these guys went ahead and made ads that were as high as 7% click-through rate. 7%. Look at that, drastically decrease the cost per click right on the Facebook ad. So with that, put a me in the question box if you guys are absolutely excited, because I want a lot of excitement from you guys, because what you're about to learn is something that you can actually sell literally. And we actually have a joke in our industry for the health side saying that if you can master this, you can sell a bottle of crap and make millions of dollars, because this is how powerful the words are. And this really struck me too, because first of all, I suck in English. I always admit that, and I'm not great at it. I'm not good at writing. And at the end of the day, I actually learned from the exact same mentor that you're about to learn from today. And now I can actually write a lot of amazing copies from ads, from emails, and all those other stuff. So again, all right, I won't be actually in this entire section the entire time, only because it's 2 a.m. right now, and I'm going to actually grab some sleep. We are going to actually give away $500 zero up funds, and our guest expert that's going to be here will select the person to get the $500, and I'll send it off to you guys. So without waiting further, I want to officially welcome our guest expert today, Anik Singhal. Everyone put in welcome Anik right in the question box. Anik, are you here?
I'm here, man. Thanks for having me. And dude, you definitely sound like you're getting a little sick there. Go take care of yourself and enjoy Paris. Everyone tell Fred right now that you guys are in good hands. Tell him, Fred, go enjoy yourself. He deserves a vacation. We all know it, how hard he works for everybody. So everyone, I want you at the same time to tell Fred to go away. Tell him to go away. Go to bed. There you go. Victor says, Fred, go rest. I want to see the first person that says, Fred, go away. Someone type in, go away, Fred. There you go. Cindiso says, Fred, enjoy it. Go away. So, Fred, you know, it just speaks volumes of you. You're sitting in a hallway right now on vacation, first night. You're not even feeling well. Still, here you are serving your community and your students. So hats off to you for that, man.
Thank you. Well, it's all about my students, and I obviously want to make sure that they are in great hands and learn everything that I know, and basically give them access to networks that I have, and long and behold, you're here. So thank you for being here, because I know you're super busy as well.
Yeah, man, it's my pleasure. I'm talking about something that is a true passion of mine. I'm talking about something today that I really mean it. If you guys can open your minds, open your ears, and pay attention and take it seriously, it's going to change your life. Like, flat out, it's going to change your life. The rest of it is up to you. So I'm about to empower you with information today that could change you as a human being for the rest of time. And I'm not just talking about being able to make more money. I'm talking about the things I share with you today will make you a more interesting person. It'll make it so that when you talk at a party, people will listen. It'll make it so that you will be a better communicator, whether it's with your wife, your husband, your kids, your family, your parents. Yes, that's literally how key what we're going to talk about today is. So, Fred, if you're cool with it, I'll take it away.
Yep, go take it away, and I'm going to go away because every single one of you guys are telling me to go away. So I'm going to leave right now.
Everybody, let's all just type in a big thank you, Fred. This guy literally he's a bigger man than even me when it comes to serving his community, and I have to say hats off to him. So everyone, if you could all type in thank you, Fred, show him how much we appreciate and love him. I'm sure he'll appreciate that as well. And there you go. Look at that. Remus says he has such a big heart. He truly does. You know, I'm blessed to have him as a little brother. Like, literally, we are that close. He's my little Chinese brother, as I always say. And I'll tell you, if there's one person that he has got, there are two people in my life who have the biggest hearts I've ever seen. And I'm blessed to have both of them be my little brothers. And Fred is one of them. The other one's this guy named Rito. Both of them just amazing people. So, Fred, thank you so much. Have a great night, man, and keep enjoying Paris and get better. Go take some meds or something. You don't want to be sick when you're on vacation. That sucks. All right,
thank you. I'll let you take it away.
All right. Thanks, Fred. Okay, guys, you are now in my capable hands, I hope. So we will have we're going to have a great time together. I want everyone to be prepared to take a lot of notes. Now, Scott had brought up something, and I just want to take the cat out of the bag. Is there a pitch? I understand that I have PowerPoints right now, and PowerPoints typically mean a marketer is going to get slick with you and pitch. So let's just let that cat out of the bag right now. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom of my presentation. All right, how many of you can see my PowerPoint slide? How many of you see where it says type yes? How many of you see where it says type yes? All right, just type in yes if you can see that. All right, yeah. There are no more slides below this. That's it. There is no pitch. There's nothing to buy. I'm trying to deliver great kick-ass content to you. So please, please put your guards down. Open your hearts and minds and ears and pay close attention, okay? There's no catch here. There's no catch here. Now, here's the deal. There is a program I have called Copywriting Academy. I do believe that you guys should be in it. I do believe that you should partake in it. I think that you should buy it. But what we're going to do is I'm going to present that to you next week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to present you with amazing content today. We're going to give you more content over the weekend. We got something big coming out this weekend. I'm not even telling you, but it's pure content. I'm going to give you more content next week on Tuesday. And then you determine You determine if what I'm offering, if Copywriting Academy is going to make a difference in your life. But in the meantime, you're going to learn a tremendous amount. So there you go. Nice and transparent and to the T. How many of you, type in me right now if you love the way that was just handled. All guards are down. Type in me if you love how that was handled and you know exactly what's happening and there's nothing to worry about. And there you go. Eduardo says, Anik, even if you don't want to, it's in you. Your personality sells everything, even if you don't want it. Even if you don't want it. Well, thank you, Eduardo. I take that as a freaking compliment. Let me ask you guys this question. Wait, I forgot my question, so I was going to ask it. Yeah, how many of you, type in the number 1, if you're okay with me presenting you an offer at the end of next week. That'll be the only time, Tuesday at the end. If I have delivered true content, true value, I will ask you for permission. If you don't think I've blown your mind away with the amount of information I share, I won't even bother. All right? Isadora says, I want to buy on it. How much? Stop it. I'm not selling. I'm trying to be super transparent. Isadora, by the way, nice to see you, man. It's been a long time. I'm so glad to see you here and hustling. All right. Someone says, could you offer it today? Lionel, sorry, I cannot. I promised everybody, I promised Fred, I'm going at this with a way that is straight up content. All right, so guys, what we're going to share today, I'm going to go right into presentation mode here. You should see me in full slide. Can someone type in yes if you see full slide? Basically, you just see the entire slide. It says my $120 million secret above. All right, awesome. One request I have from all of you. Also, please keep on engaging with me throughout this presentation today, okay? It's really nice to be able to get your messages and feedback and all that stuff because it keeps things alive. I have had a long day. I've actually been out of the house now for 12 hours. Fred knows I was stuck in traffic, almost didn't make it back in time. I was out walking around all day. We're getting ready to build our Learn Center, and so it's just a lot of work going on. But I'm here. I'm pumped. You know, I really want to share this. So basically, today I'm going to share with you how I've generated over $120 million in the last 15 years on the internet, and give you my exact formula that I've used. And you use this formula to sell any product on the internet, okay? All the way from digital publishing, affiliate marketing, email list building, and of course, e-commerce. Now, a lot of people questioned and challenged whether my formula would work for e-commerce, but Fred is here. Fred, he spoke about it earlier. I presented this formula to his group of elites in just last week, and it completely transformed the way they write their ads. Even Fred came out and said, holy crap, I've never thought about it that way. Here's a guy who's done millions and millions in e-commerce sales. So in this webinar, what you're going to master is the following. Okay, I'm going to give you the exact 5-step formula I use to sell anything on the internet, 5 steps. All right, I'm going to show you how direct marketing is dead. And I'm not just going to tell you that, I'm going to prove it to you. Now, I know what most of you must be thinking. Holy crap, how can he say something so big? Direct marketing is like, you know, that's a pretty big thing. Carol says, holy moly, 120 million. Carol, it's actually higher now. I just haven't updated the PowerPoint. It's probably close to 130 million. By the end of this year, it's probably going to be close to 140 million. By the end of next year, I'm hoping it's going to be closer to 180, 190 million. The numbers keep going up and they're getting exponentially bigger. It's the truth. All right, I'm also going to share with you today, I'm going to reveal to you how I converted a simple PowerPoint file that took me about 50 hours to create. So 50 hours from the point of conception of the idea all the way through. And it's as of like about 6 weeks ago, it's made me 17.4 million, probably made me another million in the last 6 weeks. And I'm going to literally show you exactly how to master this whole trade, okay? Now, I want to start by first telling you something. How many of you don't like the word writer or don't really think of yourself as someone who could be a writer? Type in me. Go ahead, be honest, all right? And it's okay. There's no right or wrong answer here. Type in me if you look at the word writer and you're like, nah, I'm not going to be a writer. That's not really who I am. Writer, you know, type in me. Okay, we have right here. Constantinos says, I hate writing. Constantinos, you are in good company. I did too. All right. Yeah, a couple people saying I could be a writer. A couple people saying that, you know, I like writing. All right. Look, guys, I was the last ever to become a writer. I was the least likely ever to become a writer or to be considered a writer because I'll tell you what, you know, in school, I was a straight A student. I used to do really well, but people think it's because I was smart. It has nothing to do with being smart. It was all because I hustled as hard as I possibly could. That was until I met my Achilles heel. That was until I met my contender. And I took this advanced placement writing class, junior year of high school, 11th grade. And guys, I nearly failed that class. My first grade I got back, it was my first ever D-. After that, I got so crazy. I started going to my teacher every week, every day for help. I started calling my assistant principal, my guidance counselor, my dad got involved. And the thing is, the truth is, if I were to be honest with you, is it was never because I wanted to learn writing. It was just because I wanted to get a good grade. I drove my teacher so mad. My writing was so horrible. Her exact words to me were, "Anik, don't ever become a writer, please." She actually said, "Anik, don't ever become a writer. You're that bad." Those were her words. It's absolutely shocking. Now, I've never seen her again. I don't hold anything against her. I deserved every bit of what she said. I was being horrible. But if I ever did see her again, I wonder how ironic she would think that it is that the number one thing that made me become such a success is the fact that I write. All right, even though I don't like it, even though I hate it, I don't really like writing. There you go. See, guys, ironically today, the common man like you and I, every single one of you who said you don't like writing, you're the common man like me, is better suited than a trained wordsmith. Okay, someone who's traditionally trained in English is going to suck as a copywriter, but you, oh man, I can mold you into whatever I and you need you to be. Here are the ironies. Everything that you think you know about copywriting, delete it. It's gone. The entire world of marketing is completely changed and nobody's talking about it except for until this webinar. I promise you, stay with me till the end. This webinar will blow your mind because I'm going to share with you a type of marketing and the changes that have happened that nobody even knows about, nobody talks about, that these changes alone are going to make you into a much, much more successful marketer. You don't need any prior skills. You don't need any finesse writing. You need to follow my simple formula. And you know what? We can all take a moment to thank the internet for this. Yes, the change, the new world of marketing, the fact that everything that used to work is gone and deleted, we can thank the internet for that. It also means that you get a blank slate to start from, which also means that you're not behind. You're in the perfect place. That's why I said sometimes it's easier to draw on a blank slate than it is to try to draw on a slate that's already half full. So you're a blank slate. That's a good thing. Listen, I want to take you back on a journey. I always talk about my story about how I made my first, money 15 years ago, blah, blah, blah. But nobody knows that 15 years ago when I was first starting my business, I spent 7.5 to 8 months developing this product. And I thought it was perfect. I thought everything was great. I thought it was going to sell like hotcakes. It was a product meant to teach college kids how to study better. And when I launched it, that thing was a freaking flop. Total flop. And in the process of trying to save it, I ended up meeting a few people. And one person recommended me to a guy who went on to give me what I would tell you is the #1 piece of business advice I ever received. See, what happened is this particular individual couldn't help me in my business, but it turns out he really, really liked my sales page. See, when I was making this product, I was meant and forced to face my fears. I had to go write because I had no money. So I had to write the product, and then I had to do the horrible thing, right? I had to write the sales letter. And apparently I did an okay job. This guy calls me, finds me, calls me, says, "I want you to write for me." I thought he lost his mind. I said, "Are you crazy?" He said, "Yeah, you're not good, not yet, but I see potential. I'm telling you, I'll pay you money. I'll teach you how to write." And I told the guy, "Listen, man, I want to be a success online. I got to learn marketing. I got to learn traffic generation. I got to learn conversion. I got to learn how to make products. All this writing stuff ain't for me. I don't want to do it." And this is when this guy, he kept coming after me. Finally, he said this one phrase to me that stopped time. There's those things that are said to you sometimes in your life that you remember for the rest of your life. How many of you have something that was said to you that you just remember? You vividly remember where you were sitting. You can visualize it, and it made an indent on your life. Type in me if you had a moment like that, something that was said to you, some moment that just really it's ingrained in your brain. Oh, got lots of me's. Donna, Isadora, Kelly, Amen, Constantinos, David, Susan, Serena, Karina, Dennis, Miriam, Anna, Victor, Daniel, Eduardo, Cindiso, Angel, Rory, Lynn, Barry, Lavi, Lady Maitland, Irwin, Janine, lots. Well, here's what the quote was. That's the individual. His name is Justin Ford. And the quote exactly was, "Every successful business person must be able to sell through the art of the written word." This is what he said to me, okay? I literally at time stopped when he said this to me. He said, every successful business person must be able to sell through the art of the written word. And when I heard that, I thought, damn, I have no idea what that means, but man, does it sound wise. And I held on to it. And because of that one quote, and because of how much it intrigued me, I decided to take him up on his offer and thought, I'd give him a shot. I want to work with him for a little while. Well, on the first day that I started working with him, he gave me a second piece of advice. And this piece of advice gave me a lot of hope. Exactly what he said to me was, the best writers use the least adjectives. I want you to think about that. I want you to write that down, okay? I want you to write that down. So what that basically means, that sexy writing and wordsmithing is not only not necessary, but it's actually harmful. So when you say stuff like, and the sunrise came out like a phoenix out of the blah, 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 and it touched upon my skin as my skin crawled, and blah, blah. That's what we call a used car salesman. Those days are gone, and that's why people think it's hard to write, because you think that that's what writing is. All right? You think that that's what writing is. How many of you, when you think copywriting, you think like that? You think the people that are like, and the skin, and my skin crawled up like it was a Sunday morning at midnight, blah, 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 blah. Type in me if you're that person. If you always thought that's what, you know? Lionel says romance novels sell like hotcakes. Exactly, Lionel, because that kind of writing is used in novels. Novels. It's not used. It's not meant to be in copy. It's not meant to be in copy, all right? So today, more than ever, you can write copy, even if you've never thought you could before, because I'm going to give you the whole model. I'm going to give you the whole formula. I promise you, by the end of our presentation today, by the end of our time here today together, you're going to leave knowing damn well that you can write. So, you know, I discovered 3 secrets that have led me to my $120 million in sales, right? I've discovered 3 secrets. Secret number 1 is to tell it like it is. Seriously. The reason that we find it hard is because we think we need to write creatively. We think that we need to say things in a way that are catchy and fun and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. It's not. Audiences have changed, ladies and gentlemen. Consumers have changed. We're going to talk more about this later, but today the consumers are not dumb. As a matter of fact, Scott, at the beginning of this presentation said, is there a pitch? Why? How many of you have been on a webinar before and have known that there's going to be a pitch? How many of you, just type in the number 1. Type in the number 1 if you've been on a pitch or been on a webinar and you just know there's going to be a pitch at the end. You come in, you like know that, right? So how cool is it if the freaking guy presenting just says, ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to give you great value. And at the end of all of this, I'd like to present you with an offer. Listen, I just told you exactly how the next 2 weeks is going to play out. I told you when I'm going to actually present you with a product offer. Okay, type in yes right now if you appreciated that, if it removed fear, anxiety, and it got your guards down, and yet just appreciated the fact that the guy was telling it like it is. Exactly. Secret number 2, ladies and gentlemen, inform, don't sell. Consumers have changed. People love to buy, hate to be sold. Write that quote down. I want you to write it down right now. I want everybody here to write this down, okay? People love to buy, but they hate to be sold. This is why we freaking hate used car salesmen. Here's why. We walk into used car sales. Oh, hey, how you doing? Wow, look at you. You got quite the charm on you. Love your hair. Love what you're doing with this. And you're just sitting there like, dude, just shut up. Like, I can see through this. The consumers today, guys, that doesn't work on them. See, now the consumer is demanding. We have the internet. We have access. We can research. We can find out about people. We can do all this stuff. So what we want, we're demanding as consumers. We want to learn through the pitch. We want value in the sales pitch. You know what? There was another person earlier when I was talking about how, you know, I'm not going to do a pitch today. I think it was Lady. Lady said, I don't have a problem with you pitching as long as you teach something too. So there you go. See, you've got to sell through information, to inform, to teach. And that's brilliant because people don't like to sell and they love to inform. So this is a perfect combination. I'm going to give you the formula, 5-step formula to doing just that. Secret number 3 is model after where it works. Listen, guys, all right? Let me tell you a little secret. If you've ever been on a webinar of mine before, okay? If you've ever been on a webinar of mine before, they're all built off the same model. And I bet you didn't even know that. Let me tell you a other little secret. How many of you have seen Fred Lamb's Zero Up webinar? Type in me if you've seen Fred Lamb's Zero Up webinar. Susan says, if it's on it, there will be a pitch. Haha, sorry, I only paid $5. You are cool. Well, Susan, you're about to be proven wrong because there's no pitch today. All right, we got lots of people that have seen it. Did you know that it is built using my exact 5-step formula? Bet you had no idea. It's being modeled right after one of my presentations. Bet you had no idea. Because when we do it the way we do it, you'll never know. The consumers will never know. But you can virtually guarantee that it's going to convert. All right, so we got to model after things that we know that work. So guys, here are the 5-step diagram, okay? The 5-step diagram that's coming up very soon. I want you to understand that we will walk through each of those steps in great detail, okay? But before we get into any of that, let's talk about what's copywriting worth. So I like to prove to people why they absolutely need to give copy the importance it deserves, why they need to learn how to write copy. Guys, tell me something. How much do you think copywriting is worth? If you could be a masterful copywriter, what is it worth to you per hour? Type in a number. All right, type in a number. All right? Type in a number. Whatever you think that copywriting is worth. Ah! Well, I guess I kind of gave it away there, didn't I? I hate my mouse. All right. Hopefully you didn't see it. Let's see here. All right. I don't know. People said 20, 100, 250, 200 an hour, 1,000 an hour, $100, millions, $250 an hour, $1 million. Lionel saw the slide. Ladies and gentlemen, I will factually prove to you how copywriting, if you could be a great copywriter, that's worth $350,000 an hour. An hour. Now I know. Type in the number 1 if you think I'm being freaking obnoxious. Type in the number 1 if you're like, dude, you just took hype to a whole nother freaking level. Type in the number 1 right now. Go ahead. I love it. Dennis says, show me. I damn well will. I like being challenged, all right? Steven says, dude. All right, listen. Here's exactly how it works. I'm going to give you a little story. So I learned how to write copy, and I started writing copy a lot, right? And there was a point in time in my life where I also went broke because my company went into major debt because I just had way, okay? I had way too much, what's the word I'm looking for? Too many employees, too many expenses and all that stuff. So I turned around and started writing copy for people because people started offering me. My first person offered me $20,000 to write them a video sales letter. The same client went on to offer me $35,000 for the next one. Do you know what? Over the course of a year and a half, I grew and I earned $150,000. $150,000 to write a video sales letter which would go for 20 minutes. Now, by this time, what was happening is my business was recovering, and I didn't want to keep writing for other people because when I write for other people, that's the maximum I would make. Yes, I was that arrogant that I would turn down $150,000. So I turned down $150,000. And then one of the same client that was paying me all this money comes around and says, come on, man, I really need you. I got a great product idea. All right, tell you what, I'm going to give you a deal you can't refuse. I was, all right, $200,000. I said, wow, my God, $200,000. It's going to take me like a few days to write this. This is crazy. But I don't want to because I would rather take those few days to write copy for myself. I said, no, man, I'm sorry. I can't do it. And he says, man, I'll give you $225,000. You know, he got up to $250,000. $250,000 is what he got up to before he finally pulled it and finally said, all right, I quit. I can't offer you any more money. But you know what? I turned around. I didn't do it. The most I've ever been officially paid for copy was $150,000. And after that, I went on and I was offered up to $250,000, but I said no. But let me tell you something. Because I said no to him, I actually took that week and I wrote myself a video sales letter for a product I launched. And this was one of my comeback products. It brought me out of debt, brought me back to the top. And here's what it is. It was called Marketing with Onic. It was a 20-minute video sales letter. It looked just like that. I found the page. It was literally 8-minute long. And there was one upsell behind it. I launched it on ClickBank. Ladies and gentlemen, I went on to do over the course of the coming year, I did 2 launches on it, and I went on to do $3.3 million. $3.3 million. So now you tell me, did I make the right decision by turning down a $200,000+ offer, or did I not? Exactly. You know, recently, a couple years ago, I wrote this sales page. How many of you have a copy of the Circle of Profit book? Type it in profit. Type in profit if you have a copy of the Circle of Profit book. Just type in profit. All right, we got lots of people typing in profit. Wow, that's awesome. I love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that sales page has sold over 70,000 Circle of Profit books. It has resulted at this point, because I did this slide about a month and a half ago. At this point, I have done well over $1 million in sales, giving away a free book for just shipping and handling. You tell me how freaking killer is that? Again, 6 pages of copy. Go look at it. It's at circleofprofit.com/free book. Nothing profound, but this is my favorite one. Look at this right here. Of course not. All right, look at this. $17.4 million PowerPoint file. I created this PowerPoint file a little over 2 years ago. All right, I created this PowerPoint file a little bit over 2 years ago. It took me 50 hours, and I'm telling you that includes planning, outlining, writing, designing, practicing. 50 hours. It took about a week and a half to get it done, okay, because I had other things to do at the same time. That was it. I recorded it once. I put it up into every webinar. I've never looked at it again since then. And now, all right, now we are freaking, now $17.4 million. I mean, you tell me. It's probably, at this time next year, it's going to be $26 million. If you do the math, do $17.4 million. Let's just do the math right now. All right, let's do the math right now. So I'm going to end show here. Let's go to calculator. So if you just do 17.4 divided by 50 hours, that's $348,000 a freaking hour. It's $350,000. Guys, it's not just me. Look at Fred. We all love Fred. I always joke with Fred like a brother. I love him like a brother. And I always say, he's still got Chinglish going on. He's not even perfect at English. He's great at it, but it's a second language. Guys, he came in when he started asking me for help. He has 0 writing experience. He struggled to even get an email put together. And he actually spent 3 days with me. And I'll also tell you this, by the way, the training you're getting today is not the training he got. You guys are getting something so much better, so much more systematic, so much more killer. His first product launch, he made over $1.5 million. Today, he's done over $5 million in 18 months. It's just killer stuff. Andrew Brackpool. All right, this guy, I met him now. It's probably been coming close to a year ago. When I met him, he was making $5,000 to $7,000 a month. And I showed him how to master just one of the 4 kinds of copywriting. He's great at email. This guy's in his early 20s. My favorite part about him is that English was also his weakest topic in school. But let me tell you something. He's now set up an agency of copywriting doing about $45,000 a month. $45,000 a month. Guys, this is no joke. This system works. This copy, the formula that I'm teaching you is being used by many, many people. But at the same time, I have to tell you, results are never typical. I'm sharing with you what's worked for me. This is not a get-rich-quick nonsense scheme. Maybe it won't work for you. I don't know. All right, I want to talk about something now. How many of you are ready to get into some stuff that's going to just open your eyes towards marketing unlike you've ever had before? Type in yes, all capital letters. Okay, type in yes, all capital letters. Type in yes. I want to see everybody get super pumped. I want to see where everyone is right now. Everyone's been a little quiet. There we go. All right. Here's how direct marketing is defined. Ladies and gentlemen, direct marketing is defined as the business of selling products or services directly to the public. For example, by mail order, telephone selling, rather than through retailers. Now, this is defined by Google. Okay? So basically, direct marketing includes direct mail, postcards, cold calling, direct selling, infomercials, billboards, all of that stuff, right? Well, check out this little chart. January of 2016, look at the number of companies that are expanding in email marketing, and then look at the number of companies that are exiting print advertising. Look at the number of companies that are expanding in social media, and then look at the number of companies that are exiting direct mail or trade shows or radio. Something to note. Things are changing. See, guys, back 20 years ago, we would have things like cold calling. People would call us cold. I still get them sometimes. Let me explain to you what it would cost. If you wanted to go set up a cold calling infrastructure, you were roughly estimating about $2 per call between all the different costs that are needed. Now, the other thing to note is that let's say you wanted to do 100,000 phone calls in one day. You had to have enough manpower, and it was expected to cost you $200,000. If you wanted to do 100,000 calls a day, you had to do $200,000 a day. That's $6 million a year. Or sorry, $6 million a month. That's crazy. But you know what? Today, through email, I have an email list of over 750,000. I literally send out over 750,000 emails a day. That's over 22.5 million a month, and I'm spending like $300. Tell me that's not profound. All right, we had direct mail. Remember the day 20 years ago when you used to run to the post office or run to your mailbox because the postal man came by, grab your mail, run in, open it up with a little letter opener, and suck it all in. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm lucky if I check my mail once every 2 weeks, and I'm lucky if any of it even makes it past the garage trash bin. So we have written sales letters. See, guys, with direct mail, you had to sit there and read it. You couldn't have videos, couldn't have color, couldn't have images, couldn't have interaction. With written sales letters today, where they're online, they're on demand, they can be seen and read at any time. They have videos, audio, colors, imagery. They're amazing. Direct mail would cost you anywhere from $1 to $2 per mail you sent out. Written sales letters, absolutely free. Then let's talk about infomercials. Infomercials you still see on tonight, but let me ask you something, guys, something to think about. When's the last time you were up late at night flipping channels? Come on, tell me something. All right, think about it. Lionel says 2001. Kelly says never. Bernard says LOL, because Bernard's having that realization. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have Apple TV, okay? We now have Hulu. We now have Netflix. We don't need all of those things. So infomercials are dying away, but they're just as expensive. Did you know it costs $100,000 or more per infomercial to shoot, just to film, And then you have to buy airtime, versus a video sales letter can be hosted on YouTube for free, put on a web page, and it's absolutely free, and it's on demand. Anybody can come watch it at any time they want. So then we talk about the last bit, event selling and face-to-face selling. Remember the day when the slick insurance guy would come into your door? He'd have a briefcase in his hand, a suit on, your parents or whoever would welcome him into the kitchen, sit him down at the kitchen table, offer him lemonade and water or tea, and then he'd start the process of selling you. That man, the best thing he could do, even if he was working his ass off, is maybe visit 10 homes in a day, hopefully get 2 or 3 sales. Well, today we have webinars right now. I want you to type in where you're calling in from. Let's make a point. We got about 300 people, 350 people watching. Tell me where you're calling in from. Right now, where are you dialing in from? We got Marcus from Beijing, Adrian from Atlanta, Jonathan from Austin, Lynn from Minnesota, Lionel from Singapore, Jennifer from Toronto, Canada, Tershani, South Africa, Edgar from Philippines, Dennis from Maryland, I'm from Maryland, Akilan from India. Ladies and gentlemen, we got people from Malaysia, we got people from Singapore, I had South Africa, I saw UK. This is profound stuff, guys. Welcome to the world of interactive marketing. We're at a different new formula to selling. How many of you are convinced? Type in me now if you're convinced that, holy crap, it's time to look at marketing very differently, because the kind of marketing we're being taught is being taught off of an old model that's clearly dead. Type in me. Oh, Dennis says me, holy crap. Exactly. Right? Someone just said hallelujah. Exactly. So listen to what Robert Kiyosaki just recently said about me. He said, Onyx changed the entire approach to selling online. It's not even selling anymore. At Rich Dad, we've completely adapted to interactive marketing. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, the way I define interactive marketing is the art of selling products by using new technologies that help create relationship, connection, and trust using micro commitments. See, there are 3 undeniable advantages of interactive marketing. Number 1 is less risk, less investment, faster execution. We'll talk about that in a second. Number 2 is something I call shotgun versus sniper. This is profound stuff. This is the one that's you're gonna have a major aha moment during that one. And number 3 is keep it simple, stupid. I just didn't put the word stupid there. So first and foremost, right, less risk, less investment, faster execution. I just shared with you that if you wanted to do a direct mail campaign, cold calling campaign, infomercial campaign, or even if you wanted to like set up your own event at the hotel and invite people to it and then sell, you were looking at an investment of $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 minimum. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, you can start interactive marketing for as little as $5 or hell, even for free. Facebook ads, you can start with $5. Google ads, you can start with $5. These platforms now are self-administered. You can learn, you can master, you can do it. You don't need brokers, you don't need salespeople, and you don't need thousands of dollars. This is a huge advantage. This is a massive advantage. Again, you can thank the internet. Number 2, we talked about something called shotgun versus sniper. Now, this is where I want you to really close your eyes. Do me a favor and close your eyes because I'm going to make a major point here. You're going to have a major epiphany, okay? So, with shotgun versus sniper, back in the day, your copy had to be perfect. Your copy had to be all those beautiful analogies and all those fancy words. Here's why. Because if I wanted to sell my product through direct mail, the best chance I had was to go to a data company and simply say, look, what kind of people do you think buy this product? And based on very loose data, income, geographical location, they would then sell me for like $1 a lead or $2 a lead, a big database of information and say, send these people your direct mail and you should make money. Well, there's all kinds of problems in that, but I'm not going to go there right now. But see, back then, I would have to create the perfect copy because I was sending out the letters to an untargeted audience. So my net had to be as wide. I had to cast as wide of a net as humanly possible. Hence, we needed shotguns so that the bullets would spread wide. You needed the perfect piece of copy. But today, ladies and gentlemen, today, we get to literally use a sniper rifle. Why? Because you can go to Facebook, you can go to Google, you can go to all these platforms and literally bring someone who's super, super targeted. You could get someone who is super targeted. Like to the degree that I already know you guys are interested in e-commerce, which means you're interested in making money online, which means you're interested in personal development, which means you want to be an entrepreneur, right? I know all of this, so I can go to Facebook and I can target people who like e-commerce, people who are above a certain age, people who are male, people who live in a certain area, people who have an iPhone. I mean, I can do Facebook targeting at any level. But wouldn't it be silly if I showed you an ad that said, how would you like to earn a living online? No. I already know that about you based on your demographics. I'd be better off saying how to make money online using physical products that you don't own. Now we're talking, right? Now I'm talking directly to you. So that's called a sniper. Because I have such a targeted audience, I no longer have to have perfect copy. I just have to say it like it is, which allows me to go to advantage number 3, which is to keep it simple. Keep it freaking flipping simple. Guys, no adjectives, no craziness. Talk to someone like you would talk to their buddy or your buddy. That's it. Say it like it is. Keep it simple because today's consumer, they appreciate that. Remember, they already know. They know a pitch is coming. All right? They know a pitch is coming. So how many of you have already had an aha moment? Type in wow. If you've already had a moment that's like, holy crap, I'm glad I made it to this webinar today. Type in wow. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. I'm going to look to see. I love it. Lynn says, wow on it. Constantino says, amazing. Got lots and lots and lots and lots of wows pouring in. I'm going to get some more. I know that some of you are just not engaging because you're quietly taking notes, but take a minute right now. Ross says, learning a lot. Edgar says, superb. Tell me something more. I want you guys to engage. I want you guys to be active here, okay? Be active with me. We've just crossed over 1,100 comments. Great stuff. Mode says, oh, Lord. Lobby says, Anik, awesome. And Mitra says, Anik is the best. Thank you very much. Pure gold. Busy taking notes, says Mac. All right, awesome. It's just about to get even better now. Okay, it's about to get even better. So here it is, the moment of truth, the 5 steps that have helped me sell over $120 million. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the diagram. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Now, step 1 is introduction. Step 2 is story. Step 3 is content. Step 4 is transition. Step 5 is pitch. Now, I understand that in and of itself, those may not sound like they're massive breakthroughs. I get it. You might be thinking, Anik, what's the big deal? I've heard these words before. Ladies, you guys don't know. You guys don't actually understand the purpose behind these. You don't actually understand why you have to do them. You don't actually understand what they mean, but that's what you're going to get today. I promise you, if in the next 5 minutes your head's not blown, I'm going to ask you, in 5 minutes, I'm going to ask you to type in mind blown when your mind is blown. It's about to happen. All right? It's about to happen. Susan, thank you so much. She says I'm on the cutting edge. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the way every sales presentation should start. I don't care. You know what? Forget sales presentation. I promised you something, that the 5-step formula that I shared with you today is going to make you a more interesting person. It's going to make you someone that people want to be around. It's going to improve your relationship with your wife, your husband, your kids, your family, your parents, everybody. I'm that confident. You know, 15, 16 years ago when I walked into a room, it was, I mean, I couldn't even stand in front of my 3 friends and say my name, much less actually, you know, present like I am right now. And in the last 15 years, I've now become the type of person that when I walk into a room, everything stops and people crowd around me to listen to me. It's because of these 5 steps. So with every step, I need you today to write down your notes. I need you to know, what is the purpose of that step? Purpose, big word, purpose. What's the purpose of introduction? Guys, the purpose of the introduction is nice and simple. It's to convince someone to engage with your presentation. That is it. Too many people think that the introduction is meant to sell the product. So I'll see sales letters where the headline says 50% off for the next 32 hours. No, 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 no. The purpose of it is to engage me, convince me to read your letter, convince me to watch your video, convince me to stay for the webinar. See, the whole point here is that I told you, now consumers are actually looking for value even inside of your sales presentation. So you got to convince them to engage. Couple of standard rules to remember. The length of your introduction is going to be directly correlationally long as compared to your price. The higher the price, the longer the introduction. The lower the price, the lower the introduction. Most of the time, you're going to use the written sales letter to sell like $6, $7, $8 products. Well, that's perfect. You can use a written sales letter. Your introduction is as short as simply the headline. But remember one thing, the introduction just needs to convince someone to get to the next step and to read and engage. It's supposed to catch their attention and stop them. That's it. All right, number 1, focus in an introduction, ladies and gentlemen, is what's in it for them, not for you. Talk about them. What are they going to learn? And number 3, I love this one. This is my favorite, okay? Create open loops. Let me ask you guys a question here. How many of you have ever binge watched a TV show? Type in the number 1 and maybe even the name of the show. Just how many of you have ever binge watched a TV show? Type in the number 1 and maybe even type in the name of the show. Let's read here. Lots of ones, lots of ones. Eduardo says, Eduardo's just excited there. Carol says 1, Scandal. Catherine says Soprano, Prison Break, 24, House of Cards, X-Files, Grey's Anatomy, Westworld, Castle. Yeah, we got all kinds of different shows. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the reason that it works that way. It's because at the end of every episode, they leave an open loop. Seriously, your favorite character standing there, and all of a sudden the villain is behind him. He raises a knife, and he just starts to swing and freeze. Until next time. And you're like, no, what the hell happens? So you have to watch the next one. So do we leave open loops in our presentation, in the introduction, to make people want to stay? Because this is why we talk about in relationships. People say, I need closure. Your mind cannot abandon a presentation when it does not have the closure. So let's just use my own presentation here, all right? Let's see here. So length of introduction, all right? Well, I was in, first Fred introduced me for about 5 to 10 minutes. Then I was on for about, 5 minutes. Why? Because I need you to stay on with me for about over an hour. So based on that, I did a longer introduction. All right. Now let's talk about what's in it for them and creating open loops. So I'm going to go straight to this slide. All right, did I practice what I preach? So I created open loops. Revealed how I convert simple PPT files into 8-figure businesses. You're going to want to wait, man. You want to see that. All right. What's in it for you? The exact 5-step formula I use to sell anything on the internet. That's what's in it for you. The very last thing, how to master this trade by working directly with me. That's what's in it for you. So do you see how, even though subtle, I'm answering these questions throughout my presentation to create a subliminal reason for you to want to stay that you may not even be aware of right now. You may not even know that that's happening. All right, so now let's move on to step number 2. So how many of you, type in wow, if right there, just even in step 1, you had a little bit of a click. A little bit of a click. I just showed you it works. Bernard says, wow, it works. Hell yeah, it does work, guys. I got lots and lots and lots and lots of wows pouring in. So I love it. Thank you, guys. So what do you think is the purpose of a story? Well, the purpose of a story, guys, is to build relationship, connection, and trust. Many people get this wrong. Many people think the purpose of a story is to build credibility, but it is not. See, the purpose of a story is to be able to look someone in the eye and say, hey, if I could do it, you could do it. That's what someone needs to think. Someone needs to think that they're just like you. That's called relatability. So you need to build that relationship and tell stories about yourself that make you sound like a normal person. This is why I share this concept called Batman versus Robin. See, if I came to you today and I said, you should become Batman, you should fight crime at night, here's what you would say to me. You'd say, whatever, Batman's a billionaire, Batman's in perfect shape, Batman has no life all the time in the world, Batman has nobody looking for him when he's out and disappeared, and Batman knows how to fight. And then if I told you, let's say I turned around and I said, hey, Batman needs to go save the world today. He needs a ride to the local bus depot. Can you drive him? You'd be like, hell yeah, where's the car? Bring it over. I'll take Batman wherever he needs to go. So that's Robin. So ladies and gentlemen, when you tell a story, don't be Batman. Don't talk about how great you are. Don't give your credibilities. Don't give your awards. Let the system, let the product be the Batman. You're Robin. You're the one who's fortunate enough to drive Batman to people's homes and give it and let Batman help them. The more normal you can be, the more you will connect, the more you will sell. Also, journey. The story should tell a journey, but not a journey about you. It's not, did you guys hear me talk about how I made my first $300 on the internet today? No, it didn't make sense. The journey, the story should be about the journey to discovering the system. All right, so it'd be all about the system. And last but not least, you really want to build the hardship and pain that you went through to discover this system so that at a subconscious level, you can make sure everybody understands that they don't want to have to go through that. So now, did I practice what I preach? I always like to ask myself that. So let's go to the very top. Was I Batman or was I Robin? Well, right here I told you that I was least likely to become a writer. Right here I told you that I almost got my first D-. Well, I did get my first D- ever in writing. Right here I told you that, basically if you are already a trained writer, your chances of doing this are sucky. So I told you, I started by asking you a question. For those of you who can remember, I said, type in me if you don't like writing, type in me if you hate writing, type in me if you never think that you're ever going to be a writer. Remember that? So, and then I turned around and said, well, glad you said that. You're in good company because I'm the same way. So I connected with you right away. I made it so that you realize that you and I are pretty much the same. If I can do it, so can you, right? That's what I was going for. And now, when we go back down here and we just look at the journey to the system, well, let's talk about that. I literally talked about that all through the part where I heard his story right here. I never told you how I made my first $300. I never told you that I failed 52 times. I never told you all the things that weren't pertinent or important to me meeting the person who eventually taught me how to be a copywriter, a skill for which I hope you will one day pay me to learn. See? So I gave you all the journey it took to get there so that you could also at a subconscious level realize that it's not that damn easy and you may very well never be able to have that opportunity. So that's why I told you that, right? I made sure you realize that what I have access to, guys, is unique and it's only one time. And then you see here, build the hardship and pain. Well, obviously, I definitely did that. I can tell you that for sure. I talked about how long it took me to master it. I talked about how much I sucked at it. So I definitely, spent some good time mastering the pain. All right. Now I want you to type in the number 2. If the story part alone just made your head go a little bit. Type in the number 2. I love it. Wow, they're pouring in. Victor, Miriam, Ahmed, Adrian, Lynn, Mode. Mode says, I'm speechless. Cindiso, Angel, Donna, Irvin, Jennifer, Ethel, Lavi, Melanie, Eduardo, Mohammed, Lavi, Carol, Wendy, Dennis, Kelly, Serena, Victor, Susan. Oh my God, tons of people. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. So let's move right on, guys. Let's move on to step number 3, content. Now, this is interesting. I've been telling you over and over, today's consumer is so demanding that they actually want value. They want content out of your presentation. your sales presentation. Here's something you would have never, ever thought about. And I promise you, 99% of you in this room have never thought about this, never approached content this way. My approach to content is completely different. See, guys, the purpose of content is not to teach. Think about that for a minute. The purpose of content is not to teach. The purpose of content is to build your value and, where's that word? Credibility. The word that used to be in the story section is no longer in the story section, it is now in the content section. Guys, let me tell you something really important about step 3. This is where you get the sale. Many people, every time I talk about copywriting or selling, people will say, oh, how do I do a pitch? Teach me how to do a pitch. And I sit there and I laugh and I'm like, you are chasing the wrong goal. Guys, the pitch is not where you get the sale. Let me prove it to you right now. How many of you have ever been on a webinar and you clearly knew that the content was done and the pitch started and you stayed? Type in me if you stayed. Yes? Donna, Miriam, Lynn, AJ, Mohammed, Rory, Jennifer, Kara. Wow. All right. So, why? Why did you stay even though you knew the pitch started? Why did you stay? Someone answer me. I'm asking. It's not a rhetorical question. I want to see an answer. Why did you stay? Irvin. No. Ahmed. I'm sold. Ahmed says I'm sold. Damn straight you are. You're sold already. Guys, step 5, the pitch, is not where you get the sale. It's where you confirm the sale. Step 3 is where you get the sale. Because the reason you get the sale is you build your value and credibility by giving them unique content, unique models, unique information that they've never heard before, that makes them realize you know your shit. You're not going to make them do it by telling them that, oh, you know what? I've won these awards. Look at all these certificates I have. That's not going to do it. You got to get on there and teach them, coach them in such a way that they think to themselves, man, I got to have this guy. Now, here's the best part. I told you don't teach. Yes. Here's one more rule, and I want you to write this down. When doing content, you always give them the what, never the how. Give them the what, never the how. All right. And the reason is if you give them the how, they're not going to buy. They're going to get distracted. They're going to run off and try to do it on their own. But you can create these things called aha moments through just the what. How many of you have had an aha moment on this presentation? Type in me if you've had an aha moment at some point in this presentation. Type in me. They're pouring in. I got me's coming in everywhere. Well, guess what? That means I'm doing a good job with my content. Now, the same people that just answered me, let me ask you an honest question, and I want you to answer with a yes if it's true. Do you not actually want to buy my product? Do you not wish that I was promoting my product? Are you not more open to buying my product because you've had such a tremendous time learning so much? Yeah, type in yes. Anjali says already sold. Miriam says yes. Lavi says yes. Ramu says I want to buy it now. Cindiso, Lynn, Adrian, Daniel, Lady, Jennifer, Ahmed, Mohammed, Don, Samuel, Freda. So guys, there you go. It's working. Case in point, I'm using my own presentation to prove to you that this stuff works. So the next tip I really want to give you is what I call linear thinking. This is going to blow your friggin' mind. Okay, this is it. This is going to be. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, human beings think in a linear fashion. Human beings think in a linear fashion. We cannot bounce around topics. We get overwhelmed and we don't learn. So, for example, let's say, I'll give you an example right now. Let's say you came to me and I decided and I said, I'm going to teach you how to lose weight. And so you thought, all right, perfect. And I said, all right, here's how you do it. All right, I want you to wake up at 7 in the morning. I want you to chug a big glass of water first thing in the morning. And then, oh yeah, don't let me forget, make sure you also work out in the evening for at least about an hour. You want to focus on doing cardio. All right, so now let's go back to breakfast. You want to eat a light breakfast. Like, for example, for lunch, you could have chicken. So if you're going to have chicken for lunch, I don't know, maybe you should have like eggs for breakfast or you should have salmon for breakfast. But then again, that depends what you're going to do for dinner. If you're going to have maybe just vegetables for dinner. Anyways, we'll come back to that. Did you see that? That was not linear. Muhammad said, you're confusing me. right? How many of you had a hard time following that? Type in yes. Dennis says mixed up, man. Catherine's, Catherine, I am not going to get political with this now. Cheryl says yes. Daniel says all over the place. Guys, a confused mind is not a buying mind. A confused mind does not buy. A confused mind does not pull out the credit card. So we create diagrams and we make things linear. Listen, this diagram that you see right before your eyes has earned me well over $100 million in my life. That diagram right there. That diagram has earned me over $100 million in my life. And how many of you right now would love for me to fill it out? You're sitting there, you're wondering, what the hell is that? What is that? What is that? What's the title for this? He says it made over $100 million. How? Ramus says, yes, please. All right, Scott says I already know it. Some of you should know it. Right? Vendy says, fill it out, man. Tons of people typing, please. But I'm not going to. Because that's not the point of the presentation. The point of the presentation is that if you were on that webinar where I'm presenting this to you, you would stay the whole time. If I filled out the first third of it, ain't no chance you guys are going to leave. You'd stay there to see the rest of it, right? And there would be no chance of me losing you or overwhelming you because you'd be following a diagram. Number two, this diagram has made me probably close to $6 or $7 million. Nice and simple. When I first show it to people, the words aren't filled in. So you have niche, information product, profit multiplier, delivery, messaging, and I basically tell you, you want to be a multi-millionaire, just keep following this process, rinse and repeat this process. And then when I do a presentation, I walk through it one little thing at a time. All right, I walk through it one little thing at a time. So yes, I'm basically, Daniel, you're right, kind of creating open loops. So when you know that I've now shown you 1, 2, and 3, the chances of you leaving before I give you 4 and 5 are small because the human mind is conditioned to want closure. You won't get it until I've gone ahead and finished it. And the longer I can keep you, the less confused you'll be. The less confused you'll be, the more likely you'll buy my product, right? So guys, and then I already told you, make sure your content is unique. That's how you build credibility. I'll give you another example. Let's say you came to me today and I said, I'm going to show you how to lose weight, guys. I'm a breakthrough trainer. I've got cutting edge training, okay? I'm going to share with you how to lose a lot of weight. So here's what you're going to do. I'm going to show you the 4-step process to losing weight. Step number 1, eat less. Step number 2, work out more. Step number 3, sleep at least 8 hours a day. And step number 4, drink at least 8 glasses of water a day. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Now, please, if you'd like to work with me more directly, please hand me $3,000 and we'll start working together with this cutting-edge way of losing weight. Bernard is laughing, ha, ha, ha. Bernard gets it. Cheryl's writing, ha, ha, ha. Who's going to want to give me that? Ladies, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. That is how you lose weight. I gave you the right way to lose weight, but ain't nobody want to pay me $3,000 to share with them what they've already heard 32 times and that they don't find valuable and unique, right? So the point here is you gotta get unique. You gotta have your hook. You gotta, and so now let me turn this around. Okay, so let me turn this around. So now I come to you and say, I'm going to give you the 4-step process to being able to lose weight. Step number 1, I call it step number 1. I call it the PALM strategy. How you can eat anything you want, but I'm going to give you the exact proportion, the exact portion which you cannot exceed. As long as you stay within that portion, you'll be able to start losing weight. All right, number 2. I call it the morning warrior. How to get your blood. I'm going to show you 6 exercises that'll get your heart rate to spike in the morning for a period of 7 minutes. After that, you don't need to work out at all. Number 3, I'm going to share with you, what was it? I'm going to share with you the re-energizing program. I'll share with you how just a few tweaks to your nightly rituals could actually double or triple your energy. And number 4, I call it the project liquidation. I'm going to share with you how there are 3 beverages that taste delicious that you'll actually be shocked are even better for you than water so that you can begin to hydrate your body. Adrian says, damn, you're good. Bernard says, you are amazingly great at this. Well, this is exactly what I want to teach you guys. Now, guys, number 1 and number 2, which one's going to make you want to buy? Which one's going to make you want to buy? All right. Exactly. It's going to be the second one. So your content is incredibly important. Your content is the most important part. Your content is where you get the sale. Your content is where you talk to the subconscious mind and tell the subconscious mind, listen, man, this product is freaking amazing. You got to have it. And this is where the subconscious mind starts to really dig its heels in and talk to the conscious mind and say, please, I want it. And that's when we move on to step number 4. Step number 4 is called transition. So let's talk a little bit. Let's pull back a little bit about this. And let's talk about this. So before I move into transition, can you guys, at this point, has your mind been blown? Can you type in blown if your mind has been blown? If the presentation, I would love for you guys to go back to the Facebook group, please. Post in that group. Let Fred know. He's going to wake up in the morning. Let him know that you were well taken care of. That even though he was sleeping, he was able to deliver you amazing value. We got lots of mind blowns coming in. Just blown, blown, blown. Lynn, Chris, Vendy, Daryl, Lady, Mitch, Karina, Miriam, Serena, Max, Indiso, Dennis, Casanita, Kelly, AJ, Carol, Scott, Ahmed, Cheryl, Mohammed, Adrian, tons of people. Awesome. All right, please. Will you guys all commit to going to the Facebook group after this is done and posting in there, letting Fred know that we did awesome? Yes, please type in the number 1 if you'll commit to going into the Facebook group and making sure everybody's here next week for even a more powerful presentation. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I look forward to seeing that. I want Fred to see that you guys were super happy tonight. All right, so now let's talk about the transition, because this is really, really important as well. So here's what's happening. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine something with me. All right? I'm going to give you a scenario, and this is what a sales presentation, when you're presenting to someone, when you're trying to get a sale from someone, this is how it actually pans out. This is how it works out. So I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine a stereotypical, I know what I'm saying, a stereotypical married couple. Guys, I am not being sexist. I am not doing anything. I'm not. So please bear with me here. I'm not trying to make any statement. I'm just trying to give you an image that you'll understand. So I want you to look at a stereotypical husband and wife, and I want you to think about a stereotypical life insurance salesman that's going to walk in through the door, briefcase in hand. Now, they're going to sit across the dinner table with a stereotypical husband and wife, okay? So your wife is going to be your provider, your caregiver, your caregiver, and the husband's going to be that provider, right? The husband's going to be that logical, skeptical, and the wife's going to be the more emotional, okay? So as that insurance salesperson, the first thing I'm going to do is turn towards the wife and talk about her children. I'm going to ask about the children, how old they are, when they were born, where they are, what do they do, what did they enjoy, and I'm going to get the wife all googly-woogly and talking about her kids. Then I'm going to start to pivot and talk about how those kids are protected in case something happens to the family or to the parents. Over time, I'm going to win the wife over. Pretty soon, before we know it, it's going to be 2 versus 1. Because in the end, though, typically in that stereotypical relationship, it would be the guy who would pull the credit card out. It would be the male who would say yes. You got to get both parties to agree to something, right? It's a marriage. So both parties have to agree. So now it's 2 people working that last one. So I'm going to slowly turn a situation where it was 1 versus 2 to 2 versus 1. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how subconscious and conscious works. So during steps 1, 2, and 3, you're actually working the subconscious mind. That's like working the wife. That's the more emotional mind. It's the one that's more connected. You're talking to it. And so Erlinda, by the way, Erlinda says, Anik, have you been an insurance agent? You know exactly how they do it. Yes, I have actually, Erlinda. Many years ago, I was a financial planner. Part of what I sold was insurance. So yes, I have been an insurance salesman. And so you're the step 1 and 2 and 3, you're really talking at a subconscious level. But at the end of the day, the subconscious is not one that's going to make the buy. It's going to be the conscious. So during the transition, what you do is you have to transition your pitch from the subconscious to the conscious. Okay? You have to transition from the subconscious to the conscious. All right? Sorry, guys. I just got a text message. I just needed to read it real quick. All right. So what you have to do in the pitch, or in the transition, is you have to answer the why. So you have been, good friends with this person. You've been teaching this person for 3 steps now. The subconscious mind loves you. And all of a sudden now you come in and you're saying, give me money. And the person says, well, what? Why? So you have to address the elephant in the room. Your energy and your tone has to stay high. You have to get out of the details. You have to pull the mind back up to a 40,000-foot overview. See, details lead to objections and questions. Objections and questions don't lead to sales. So although during the content time, you may have gotten a little bit more detailed with your training, but during the transition time, you need to pull it back up, out of the weeds, get out of the details, pull them back out. Now I'll give you one more little tip here. I want to give you one more little visual. Imagine this. Imagine that the conscious mind has given the subconscious mind like one card a month. The conscious mind, which is the logical mind, right, says, okay, subconscious, I give you this card. Once a month, you're allowed to hand it to me and ask me to make a buying decision on your behalf, and I'll consider it. Once a month, though, that's it. Once you use it up, you can't have any more for that month. So during this presentation, you got the person's subconscious getting all hot and heavy, and it's excited, and it's thinking, oh my God, I want this, I want this, I want this. And right at the transition, this is where the subconscious has to make a decision. Am I calling in the favor with the conscious mind? Am I going to hand this over to the conscious mind? And am I going to say, please, I want this product? Well, imagine your tone. See, most people are very comfortable teaching, but they're not comfortable selling. Going into a pitch, you're starting to sell. So a lot of times people will be giving content, they're high energy, yada, 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 yada. And then all of a sudden they'll say, now that the content part is over, everybody, thank you very much. I would like to share with you this product that I've put together that I really think can help you. And so, no, not happening. The subconscious hears that and says, whoa, 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 buddy. Whoa, buddy. What's happening here? I'm not giving up my card. Are you embarrassed? Are you scared of giving me your product? Are you ashamed of your product? So you got to keep all these tonalities up. If you've ever listened to Fred, ever listened to me, when we do our pitch, when we go into our presentation, our sales presentation, we shout. Literally, we shout. We get more excited. You know why? Because we love our damn products. We know that our products can change and are changing lives. I'm excited for the opportunity to present my offers to you. And I share that with you in my energy and in my tone. All right? How many of you love the energy and tone that both Fred and I usually keep, and that's why you love these webinars? Type in the number 1 if that actually helps you retain information, helps you show back up, helps you buy stuff. Yeah, lots of ones coming in. Ones are pouring in. So awesome, guys. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So now let's move on to the last piece of the puzzle, right? The pitch. What is the purpose of the pitch? Who can tell me what the purpose of the pitch is? I'm going to wait here. I want to see. I want someone to respond and tell me what is the purpose of the pitch. Okay, Lynn says call to action. All right. Kind of, but not really what I'm looking for. Okay, David says to close the sale. That's close, but Mark got it. Mark was listening and Dan got it. Few people did get it. It's to confirm the sale. It's to confirm the sale. See, guys, here's the deal. The conscious mind is very logical and skeptical, just like that male figure sitting in that fictitious story we came up with, sitting with his arms crossed across his chest, looking at the person with his head half tilted, thinking, I wonder what the hell what's in it for you. How are you scamming me? Are you going to get me? See, guys, here's the deal. Everybody wants an overwhelming deal. That's the truth. How do you close a sale? How do you confirm a sale? You make the other person feel like they've taken advantage of you. I'm going to give you a funny little story. So my wife and I were out looking for houses almost immediately after we got married. This is a story from 3.5 years ago. We started looking for houses in January of 2014. Guys, for 2 years, we feverishly searched for a home. By January 2016, we were starting to lose hope. Every time we would put money down on a house or put a contract down, something would happen. It would fall out of place, and we would no longer be able to buy it. Finally, probably God's will, because we were, in those couple of years, my ability to afford a much more expensive home went through the roof, and I found a home that I truly loved and my wife loved. We started negotiating. It took months and months, and finally had a deal. And finally, they took months and months to get a contract done. And again, it was dragging on. The day came, and I rushed to sign the contract. Ran over there. I had to take my first deposit of like 5% of $75,000, a check, handed it to them, signed the contract. My lawyer said it's all good. I walked out, and the second I walked out, my heart fell to the bottom of my stomach. I could feel in the pit of my stomach, and I thought, shit, what have I done? What did I do? I can't get out of this now. Even if I try to get out of it, I'm going to lose $75,000. Like, what did I do? What if we move? What if we don't like the house? What if the house is not built right? What if we don't like the neighborhood? What if the neighborhood gets bad? What if I don't want to live in Maryland anymore? What if I want to move there? What if I want to do this? I start to panic, right? And as months go by, I have these panic attacks, and I question myself, and I wonder if I made the right decision, but I know I can't do anything about it. And then all of a sudden, they don't build my house. All right, they keep waiting. And the house is not being built. And I'm sitting there wondering what's happening, but I'm not in a rush because I'm freaking out. And it's been months now, and finally I get this email from the builder. It says, on second thought, we've decided not to build your house. Here is an addendum. If you could please sign this and send it back to us, we'd greatly appreciate it. Or return your $75,000 deposit. No hard feelings. And I looked at that email. I thought, this is odd. What the hell is going on? Why can't I just buy a house? Why does every house revert back on me? So I called my lawyer who had negotiated the whole deal. I said, hey, can you just find out what happened? Why do they want out of the deal? And, it's not legal. They should probably have to pay me something. My lawyer calls him, and I was honestly debating whether I would take this opportunity to get out because I was so panicked about it. So the lawyer calls them and calls me back and says, Anik, you're never going to believe the builder was so honest and told me exactly what was going on. I said, what? He said, they want out of the deal because they discovered that they're actually losing money. They're not making money on your house. They gave you the best lot, the best house, and they charged you way too little, and now they want out of the deal. Ladies and gentlemen, it didn't take me more than 30 seconds of sitting there silent. And my lawyer finally goes, Anik, are you there? And I turned around and I said, listen, you listen to me. I want that house. I'm not signing any paperwork. I'm not signing anything. You sue them if you have to. They will build my home for me. And it was uncanny afterwards when I sat down and thought about what had happened. I laughed at myself. I thought, man, as soon as I knew I was getting an overwhelming deal, I had to have the house. So you've got to make your consumers feel that way during your presentation, during your pitch. You need to make them understand that if they give you $1, you're giving them 10 back. Now, I have an 8-point pitch formula that we go over to do this. And I want you to understand, guys, that inside of Copywriting Academy, actually, each of these steps, we have multiple templates that you follow just so that you can address them perfectly. And we also have one for the pitch as well. But really, for now, just want to share with you the fact that, even Les Brown, this guy has been said to be the #1 speaker in the world. The #1 speaker in the world. He's earned over $65 million speaking on stages, and he actually said the meeting he changed his life. Last year, he earned an additional $1 million all on the internet using the very simple principles we share. He actually says that his ability to speak powerfully on stage has changed, that he's implementing some of what I teach into his speaking. I got to tell you, I don't know how to even consider that. That is probably the most humbling thing I've ever heard in my life. A man who has been voted multiple times to be the #1 speaker in the world is now implementing some of the parts of my 5-step processes into his presentation and says that his presentations have become even more effective. This is exactly why I'm telling you that the 5 steps you've learned today, ladies and gentlemen, are not just something that help you make more money, but there are steps that can fundamentally change your life. And guys, that's it. No masterful writing. That's the full system. It took me 15 years. And I want to ask you something. Do you believe that you can finally start to use simple words to sell after what you've seen today? I want you to type in yes in all capital letters. I want you to type in yes on all capital letters. If today you are much further along after this presentation and your belief pattern on what you can do with the written word and the fact that you can get all these sales, and we got just yeses pouring in. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. We do have our $500 giveaway to do, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that for Fred right now. I have a few things I'd like to ask from you. I have a few things. So number one, can you guys, how many of you are going to be here next week, Tuesday, same place, same time? I'll be doing my second presentation. I want you to type in me. If you're committing to being here, type in me. If you're committing to being here next week, you don't want to miss it. I'm going to give you a full-on case study. I'm going to show you a $4.6 million campaign that I did, how I put it together, what it looked like, the pages, and everything. And you get the whole shebang, all right? Wow. Lots and lots and lots and lots. Justin Finn says, does a bear shit in the woods? Awesome. Well, I hope you guys are here. That'll be freaking amazing. Lorraine says, is an expensive product coming next week? Lorraine, you are going, let me tell you this, Lorraine. The product price for Copywriting Academy is half of anything that you have seen. The typical price that you see, it's half. I promise you. I'm doing things, guys, in this industry that nobody else is doing. I really am on your side. All right, now I'd like to get some other questions I'm going to ask you, okay? So please keep answering. Can you type in the number 1 if you are okay after this point, if you are okay with me presenting to you Copywriting Academy at the end of next week's training? Type in the number 1 if you'll be okay with me doing that now that you've seen that I'm delivering on all the content and all the value that I promised. Trisha says you better. Paul says absolutely. Awesome. We got lots of ones pouring in, by the way. Lots and lots and lots of ones. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. All right. Now next, I want to ask you guys, how many of you, just type in me if you are going to go to the Facebook group that Fred has, or Facebook page for Fred Lamb, and you're going to leave an honest review of today's presentation so that Fred can wake up tomorrow and see. Please type in me if you're going to do that. That's a favor I'm asking for from you. Carol says already done it. Thank you, Carol. I'm asking this of you because I want Fred to wake up and feel freaking amazing. I want him to wake up and just be ecstatic and know that his community was taken care of and that he's allowed to take a vacation. I really want that man to know that he's allowed to take a vacation. Can I get a 1 to 10 rating, 10 being best, 1 being worst on today's presentation? That's personal feedback for me. That's personal feedback for me. So I'm getting a bunch of 10s and 9s. I got a couple of 8s, lots of 10s. I got a 15. Lots of 10s, 11s, 100. I got a few hundreds. Oh, that's awesome. You guys are way too sweet. Thank you very much. I think the lowest score I got here was a 7. And hey, I'm totally open to always having more feedback, making things even better for you guys. But for the majority, we have 10s and 11s and 12s and 15s and 100s. So that's incredible. All right, well, let's ask a funny question so we can do this giveaway, this $500 giveaway, which Fred is so gracious and generous to do. So here's what I'm going to do. I want you to tell me who can tell me who my favorite superhero is, my favorite Marvel superhero. All right, I'm going to take someone who answers correctly, and I'm going to pick a random person who answers correctly. All right, a lot of people saying Batman, Robin. Nope. All right, Bernard, you are correct. So Bernard's name goes into the hat. Irvin, you're right. Your name goes in the hat. Mitch, you are right. Kalpo, you're right. Catherine, you're right. No, Bill writes Fred. All right, here I got a lot of people that are right. So I'm going to pick someone now. I'm giving you guys another few seconds, but only if you're right do you get to have your name in the hat. All righty, let's see here. Who was right here? La 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 la. Where'd he go? Bernard Yankee, you are the winner today for $500. Thank you so much, Bernard, for your awesome attention. You've also been incredibly engaged today. You've been leaving messages, talking, chatting. I love that about you. So Bernard, do me a favor. Can you please, right now in the question box, can you type in your PayPal email address? Can you just type in your PayPal email address so that I can write it down? And everybody in the meantime can also say, you said, Bernard said, thanks, Anik, but Bernard, I need your PayPal address. And you know what I want to do before I forget is just type in your name so I have it. All right, Bernard, just type in and everybody else in the meantime, can we type in congratulations to Bernard? Type in congratulations to Bernard. All right, let's see here. All right. I'm looking for your PayPal address. Up, got it. Thank you, Bernard. I got it. Just gonna write it down so that I don't lose it, and I will send this off to Fred's team. And Bernard, you will have your $500 investment. Remember, as I always say these on my webinars, this is not meant to be used for Xbox or PlayStation. Make sure you invest it into your business. Listen, everybody, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. I cannot wait to be working with you next week. All right. Oh, sorry. Linda says, who is it? It's Iron Man. My favorite character, my favorite superhero is Iron Man. So sorry, I should have answered that for everybody after I asked the question. All right, guys, thank you so much. Really, it was an honor. It was a pleasure. I love being here. I'll see you guys next week. Talk to you guys later. Bye.